Morning. I did not do a good night video last night. There's a lot of people at this shelter. A lot of just, one person I think just came out for one night. A bunch of sectioners and people doing 3 or 4 days. One through hiker and one lasher. Which, if you don't know, stands for long ass section hike. It's where you're doing I don't know the exact definition, but I think it's 100 miles or more. So, yeah, I slept okay. Probably stayed up a little bit later than I needed to. I watched the latest episode of Ted Lasso. Today's the 11th. I don't know what day that is. I think it's 82. So yeah, ball sweat. Didn't seem so bad last night. I don't know, maybe I'm just getting kind of used to it, unfortunately. It seemed like, back in, Virginia, before I took my break, it was like a leaky faucet. I'm not talking about, my junk. I'm talking about, well, I guess not my junk, but the sweat glands of my balls just producing so much sweat. I was thinking about it last night, and I think, as the weather gets warmer, and again, my quilt is doing its job, I don't know, but it's like in the hammock, my legs are kind of pinched together. I'm kind of sleeping like a mummy all night. Maybe that has something to do with it. I'm thinking about getting a small thing of talcum powder. Maybe that might help, or maybe that just might make things more complicated. I don't know. I've been using a lot more picaridin, the Sawyer brand, because of all the ticks. I haven't seen any on me. I've been stopping throughout the day and checking my legs. So I'm hoping that the combination of picaridin and permethrin on my clothes is working. When I get around 5 washes of my clothes, I have to go and get some permethrin, which means I'll probably have to take a 0 so that I could, and hopefully it's a nice day, so I could spray my stuff down. Which brings me to the next bit of intel. So far, and I've heard this before, so far from Duncannon through New Jersey, there's not a lot of outfitters. There's not a lot of hostels, at least, less expensive ones, like down south where tons of people are starting and that may or may not make it. You can go into a small town and there'll be 3 hostels and a small outfitter, maybe. But here, when I stopped off at this roadside to go to get a little snack. And, I saw one business called Slack Packers, and it was closed. I'm assuming that this is kind of an area that people think, oh, they need something here. I'm gonna, get off trail when I'm done and come down here and open business, and there's just not enough business to support it, is my theory. Same thing with hostels. So, and I don't think, if I order on Amazon, I don't think it'll get to where I'm going tomorrow. I'll try. Maybe, I think in 12 miles, there's a place for me to stop and take a break. And I'll put in the address and see when it says it'll arrive. If not, I'll scoot it to the next place I'm planning on going, which again, there's a post office there. I see one place to stay, and it looks pretty damn expensive. But I know my daughter wants to send me something, and so I gave them that address. So yeah, we'll see. So the logistics are becoming a little weird. my mood. My mood is okay today. I'm not thinking about. I'm kind of, it's like when you're not thinking about the pain because the pain is going away. It's like I didn't wake up this morning feeling like this is going to be a grind. It will, to some extent, but it looks like the first 19 miles of this is smooth sailing. At about 19 miles, there's a climb. I think some people call it Stairway to Heaven. That is supposed to be pretty rough. It looks like it's about 1,000 feet and 1.5 miles. Which I'm hoping that if, the first part is really, really, really smooth, that I won't be completely demoralized by the time I get there. But with that said, I got up relatively on time. I'm about 15 minutes late to getting on trail. It was about 6:15 when I started. So anyway, that's enough for me this morning. You know what? While I'm at it, I hope you have a good day. I hope you find contentment today and being okay with whatever it is you're doing. I know some people have commented about, I think Elizabeth, thanks for following and, cheering me on, has commented that, she's watching from a desk. And, I hope you find contentment in your grind today. I hope I find contentment in mine. And to all of you, wobbly rocks. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Hearts and stuff. Bye. Saw a muskrat today going by, what I think is a muskrat. It looked like a furry mouse or rat, and it was swimming through a swamp. That's pretty cool. The one thing, oh my gosh, yeah, Rocksylvania is gone for now. I mean, I know that there'll be rocks again, but these trails have been absolutely awesome today. So generous, so loving. The only thing that's kind of slowing me down is I'm walking through all these fields and you could see the ticks hanging off the blades of grass that are over the trail, that are leaning over the trail. Like as I'm walking, I can see them hanging out. I've always wondered how they sat on there, but I don't know if it's luck. I believe it's probably science. which is the combination of permethrin on my clothes and keratin on my skin, because every time I stop to check after I pass through a field, I don't see any ticks. So that's pretty cool. You know what, New Jersey? You're kind of beautiful. At least this area. So there's a sign that says, do not approach the cows. The cows are laying directly on the path. Technically right now I am approaching the cows. Oh, they look baby cows. Alright, I'll walk around. You know, whenever I get food, the last thing on my mind is taking pictures of it. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying, like, I don't normally like get somewhere and say, I'm going to document this for a video or for Instagram or anything. I just eat it. And then afterwards, I'm like, oh yeah, I stopped here and ate something. Ice cream. Hey, party people. Yeah. Uh, it's been a grind for a while, and today was officially, out of Rocksylvania. I mean, there were still some rocks here and there, but it was a glorious day as far as trails are concerned. A lot of flat soil, soft trails. It was great. I made pretty good time. I slowed down towards the end. I think really for any given day, unless it's a really generous day, my maximum is somewhere around 25 right now. That one day in Shenandoah, that was really flat. So, I know that there's going to be days like those coming up, and I'm going to try to take advantage of them. But, I just got off chatting with my boy Chris and Canary, and and I miss having people around. And I'm questioning. I'm going to take a look at the numbers and see how I'm doing. But I'm questioning my ability to finish by the time I wanted to. So there's that. Yeah, it was a great day. A lot of ticks. Now, I've been stopping and looking, and I'm not seeing any ticks on me. So I think the picaridin is doing its job, and the permethrin on my clothes. Picaridin is an alternative to DEET. DEET is from what I understand, a neurotoxin, and when the bugs put their, very sensitive hands on it, or appendages, it burns them. Whereas with picaridin, it kind of blinds them to you. I don't know, something like that. And then permethrin, from what I understand, is the active ingredient in Raid. And you spray it on your clothes and you let it dry. And then it's good for about 6 washes. And the idea is that if a bug crawls across it, they die. So anyway, there's that. I stopped at this farm and this hot dog stand that are right at the base of the Stairway to Heaven. Stairway to Heaven was the rockiest part of today. And the hot dog was really good. And the guy, we had some things in common. And so I stopped and talked with him for a while. The hot dog was good, but it was small. But it was delicious. I forget the name of the hot dog, but it had spicy onions, mustard, and something else on it. And then I got some donuts from the farm and some ice cream. So, yeah, now I am at the Warwick Drive-In. So in the past, they used to let hikers camp here for free. Now they charge. So it's $5 to be here. They let me set up in the area you're not supposed to set up in because I'm a hammocker. And I needed some trees, and this was the only spot. So, but it's perfect because I'm right looking at the screen for the Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Is this the way I want to see Guardians of the Galaxy 3? No, I'd rather see it at the Alamo or somewhere, and I might go see it somewhere else again in 3D. But this is super awesome, right? Like, I'm in my hammock, literally just laying here looking at the screen. I'm gonna get some food, and I've got a little radio that they gave me that's already tuned to the right station. I mean, it's dope. It's so dope. So, and it really gave me something to kind of like go for today. It's like I had a reason to get somewhere. Obviously my mood is great today. I'm in a really great mood. The only thing weighing on my mind is, there's this conversation between some people in my network about, I told my daughter I'm definitely coming home for her birthday. And some people are like, well, that just seems like a lot. It seems like a lot to just come home for 2 days, like when you might be, like 4 days from finishing, or 5 days from finishing, and you would, spend all this money to come home. And I've thought about that too, and I've talked to my daughter. I never promise anything. Because if something, God forbid, happens to me, I feel like that would be a break of a promise, so I'm very careful with my words. I always have been. But I did tell her that I was going to come home. So, even though I didn't say the words I promised, I told her I was going to come home. I might have a conversation with her, if it's going to be like I still have a week or two, then yeah, I'll just go home. But if it's a couple days, I don't know. I honestly don't think it would affect her so much, because she's going to have a party, she's going to have her friends. But I feel like, I've never missed her birthday, and I always put her first, even like with work, like, when shit could be falling apart, and be like, I told you, this is my time with my daughter. I fought for it, and yeah, like, see you. There was a couple times where I did, like, for some work, say, look, I'm not gonna be there for this or whatever, but not for birthdays, and I always make sure that she knows that. Anyway, you understand what I'm trying to say. So I'm struggling a little bit with that, but as my mom said today, she's like, her birthday's over a month away, so just slow your roll, and we can start seeing where I'm going to be at as I get closer. Tomorrow's a little bit of a struggle right now, because I got like 10 miles to the town where I'm supposed to pick up my package, and the problem is I can't find a place to stay. There's nowhere to stay. I've called 2 places so far, and both of them are booked up, so I'm going to try another one here in a minute. Anyway, that's it for me tonight. I'm going to order some food from the snack bar. They have fountain drinks, so I went next door and I got some bottled drinks so that I don't spill. But that's it. Good night.